Okay, final audio check. Check. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2.
Good morning. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, happy International Day of Peace. My name is Alison Smale, Under Secretary General for Global Communications. It is my honor to welcome you to today's observance. The International Day of Peace, declared by the United Nations General Assembly in 1981, is especially important because it embodies a core mission of our organization: the pursuit of peace and a world free of violence and strife. I am pleased, of course, to welcome the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. António Guterres, as well as the President of the 73rd session of the General Assembly, Her Excellency Ms. Maria Fernanda Espinosa Garcés. I am also pleased to welcome the permanent representative of Japan to the United Nations, Ambassador and Mrs. Pesho. We are also honored to be joined today by United Nations Messengers of Peace, Her Royal Highness Princess Haya bint Al Hussein and Michael Douglas. Please join me in welcoming them warmly. Thank you for being with us here today and for your unwavering commitment to peace. It is now my pleasure to invite the United Nations Staff Recreation Council singers to perform a song for the occasion. Thank you very much for that enlightening performance. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Secretary General of the United Nations, who will ring the peace bell after his statement. Mr. Secretary General.
Dear champions of peace, dear friends, it is for me an enormous pleasure to be with all of you during this International Day for Peace. And we are here because we are determined and we do not give up. We see conflicts multiplying everywhere in the world. We see links between conflicts and terrorism. We see insecurity prevailing. We see people suffering. But we don't give up. We know that when we appeal for combatants to have a pause and to respect this day, we know many will not respect it, but we don't give up. And when we are celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we know that human rights are violated in so many parts of the world. We even know that the human rights agenda is losing ground, but we don't give up, because the respect for human rights and human dignity is a basic condition for peace. It is true that extreme poverty is being reduced, but we see inequality growing. But again, we don't give up. We believe inequality is one of the most important factors of instability and conflict. And so we will pursue our agenda, the 2030 agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals, our struggle for a fair globalization, because there is no development without peace, but there is also no peace without development. We will not give up. Peace is the unifying concept that brings us together in the United Nations. Peace is at risk. Peace is violated in so many places, but we will not give up. Thank you for your determination, and thank you for your strong commitment to our common cause.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. The sound of the bell is always a haunting reminder. Please join me now in welcoming the President of the General Assembly, Her Excellency Ms. Maria Fernanda Espinosa Garcés. Following her statement, she too will ring the peace bell. Your Excellency, please.
Mr. Secretary General António Guterres, Your Excellency Ambassador of Japan, Besho and Mrs. Besho, Your Royal Highness Princess Haya, Mr. Michael Douglas, dear Special Envoy on Youth, welcome this morning. Excellencies, dear friends, good morning. It is truly a pleasure to be here today to celebrate one of the bedrocks of our United Nations, global peace. In 1981, the General Assembly adopted the International Day for Peace to be devoted to commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace, both within and among all nations and peoples. Since then, we have witnessed many conflicts and peace processes. While we have succeeded in many cases, the conflicts that persist embody the gap between reality and our visions of peace of our world. The love for peace and peaceful solutions can be a policy choice. Leaders have a responsibility to promote peaceful conduct in international affairs. Without inculcating the spirit of tolerance and peace in our young people, and without promoting inclusive and equitable societies, the vision of lasting peace that inspired the UN Charter continue to elude us. That is why my theme of the 73rd session of the General Assembly and my priorities focus on inclusion, equality, justice, good stewardship of our planet, and bringing the United Nations closer to the people. The priorities focus especially on empowering women and youth and offering them a place at the table in reconciliation, peace, and security efforts. I am convinced that unless people and communities around the world understand and appreciate why their leaders make their commitments they do here at the United Nations, peace and security will continue to suffer. Friends, today's Peace Day theme is the right to peace, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights at 70. As one of the core pillars of the UN, few documents have been as referenced, as cited, or as critical to our negotiations as this declaration. This is a statement to its continued, varied, and global importance. As we embark on a new session at the United Nations General Assembly, it is my hope that the spirit and principles behind the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are ever evident in our work, in our collaboration, and in our principles. Thank you very much.
I thank the President of the General Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, and our youngest members, I want particularly to note the child violinists, thank you for your presence this morning for this special annual tradition at UN headquarters. It honors the fundamental aspiration of people everywhere, which is the pursuit of peace. And thank you also to those who joined us via webcast from around the world for this event. We wish you all a wonderful International Day of Peace. Thank you.